As far back as I can remember, I've always been a target of some kind of bullying at every stage of my life.
You sure about that?
Maybe it's because I was always different. You see, adults talk about being a minority in terms of race, religion, or sexuality. You are black, Jewish, gay, or just too handsome for your own good. But for kids, being a minority is something completely different. In school, you're different if you're short or have a big head, or if you're darker than the rest. Maybe you're too good at school or not pretty enough. And me, well, I somehow checked all the boxes. So yeah, being bullied became kind of normal. In this video, I'm taking you back in those days to the funny, painful, and sometimes ridiculous experiences that shaped who I am today. Let's talk about the time I was bullied in school.
Okay, let's start by giving a clear definition of what is actually school bullying. School bullying is the repeated aggressive behavior among students that involves a power imbalance and it affects millions of children worldwide. Globally, about 1 in 3 children aged between 13 and 15 years old report being bullied, while in the US, around 19% of high school students experience bullying in school. We are not yet even talking about those that don't actually report. So another thing you need to know about school bullying is that more than 35% of children between the age of 12 and 19 that commit suicide is because of school bullying. So it's a serious issue. Bullying can be physical, verbal, psychological, or cyberbullying. In fact, so let's come back to our main subject, me. Actually, as I told you previously, I've always been subject to bullying in my life until the age of something like 19 or 20. But here in this video, we will talk about school bullying in particular because that was the most cruel. In fact, when I was something like 7 years old, I had my friends in my neighborhood that we were actually the same age, almost all of us. So we were good friends and it was good. Now one day, the junior cousin of one of my friends came into our quarter for holidays and physically the man was a little bit huge. So I can't remember how it started, but what I can remember is that he was constantly asking me to kneel down.
What?
Beating me, he was constantly insulting me, taking me as his chair, as his punching ball. The guy looked at me the first day and said, "I hate you," for nothing. Like the man saw me and decided to bully me for no good reason. Maybe because I was tiny, I don't know. So me as a calm child, I was obeying to him. I was actually scared of him. So everything he was asking me to do, I was doing. So let's dive directly into the main event that put an end to that bullying session. So one day I went, like there was no food in the house, and my auntie asked me to go and fetch water at the water source so I can come with the water so that she can cook something for us to eat. That water source is a sort of lake where water pass through a pipe and everybody comes with his or her container to fetch the water actually. But there were so many people there. Every single day there were many people at that water source. So we created a system where the first to come is the first to fetch water. When you come, you meet someone, you just stand behind the person. The person that comes after you stands behind you and wait for his turn to fetch the water. So when I reached that day, there was a long queue like this, a very long line of many people. So I said myself, okay, I went to the last person that was there and I asked him, please, can you keep the place behind you for me so that if somebody comes, you just tell the person that there's somebody behind you so that I can go and play with my friends. The person accepted. So I went and played with my friends and I met that guy. I even forgot his name, but for the video, let's call him Brian. I met Brian and my friends actually, when he saw me, asked me to kneel down. I also knelt down. I was obeying to him. He started beating me, pushing my head. So he was just playing with me as if I'm his child, as if I'm his toy. Me, it was not disturbing me because I didn't know that that was not good.
Oh no! We suck again!
I was very, 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 or just ignorant. Now, at a certain moment, the queue reduced until I saw that my turn was already coming to fetch the water. I asked Brian that, please, Brian, can I go and fetch my water? He said, yes, you can go, but after fetching your water, you come back. When I went, I fetched my water. I realized that I was very hungry. So I wanted to go back fast with the bucket of water I had with me so my auntie can cook, so I can eat. But when I was putting the bucket of water on my head for me to go, Africans can relate actually. That you carry water, you put water in a container and you must put it in your head for you to go through a long distance. So when I wanted to put the bucket of water on my head, guess what? He asked me to come from a distance. He shouted, "Come here first." I ignored him completely because I was very hungry and I wanted to go fast. I also didn't want my auntie to like beat me because I stayed too long. So I ignored him and I started carrying my bucket. He came towards me and he pushed my bucket of water with his leg. The whole water poured on the floor. That day, I got angry because when I saw the queue that was there was a new long line like that, and I didn't want to wait anymore. I asked him that please take my bucket of water. I was very angry that day. He said, I will not. To whom are you talking like that? And I said, man, don't try me. Do fast. He just came towards me and he pushed my head like that. That was very, very, very annoying. So what I did is that I jumped on him. I started giving him punches. I mean, like, I felt that day like Mike Tyson. And at the shore of that small spot of water, there was a big quantity of clay, and that clay was very muddy, so it's like yellow mud for those that can't relate. So that day I took his head and I put it inside the muddy clay. I put it inside and I was like, I just wanted to finish with him that day, until his elder brother came and asked me, sorry for all what he did, please can you allow him? Then I allowed him. He carried my water, he gave me, and I went back. Since that day, every time he was seeing me on the roadside, he was just changing his direction. That was the first time I fought in my life, and that was the beginning of a long self-defense career. So throughout the years that followed, both in school and in the quarter, I was subject to bullying, but it was not serious like for that man. It was just some kind of kidding, some kind of jokes, some kind of unpleasant jokes related to my height or to the size of my head, or I don't know in fact. So the next time I was seriously bullied is when I was in Form 3 in high school. It's like the third year after the beginning of the high school. I was first in Form 2 in Yaoundé, capital of Cameroon, and I had to go to another city, Bafang. At that city now, I realized that most people there were very, very intelligent, more than me even. Why in Yaoundé I was the first of my class. I was coming out the first of my class with great averages. But when I reached there, the averages were still great, but I was among the last, in fact. So they were very intelligent there. So when I reached there, so I was shorter than everyone. I was smaller in size than everyone. In fact, I had all the characteristics that a bully victim is having actually. In Form 2, everything was okay, but in Form 3, everyone started to call me short man, your big head, you are dark. The bullying at that level was still verbal, so it had no effect on my body until then. In Form 3 now, an event happened that got me annoying. That's the day I realized that I was actually being harassed. I was actually being bullied in school. That day what happened is that I was seated with the first of the class. That man was very, very intelligent. It was also very tall. The man, we were relatively good friends. And that day, actually, I went out. When going out, I left my bag on my seat. And when I came, my bag was on the floor. The floor was very dusty. In fact, when I lifted up my bag, I saw the bag, instead of being black, it was already yellow, the color of sand. So I asked him that why is my bag on the floor, why I kept it on my own place, and he told me that disappear from my sight.
What?
I went like, what? I'm just asking why my bag is on the floor. And I asked him, are you the one that put my bag on the floor? And he said yes. I told him that why, and he told me that he wanted to put his. And his bag was actually on my seat. I told him that, what is your problem? Why are you putting my bag down? My bag that was on my seat, you are putting it down to put yours. Is that normal? He just told me that, what will I do? I will do nothing. And he looked at me as if he wanted to beat me. No, you will not try it again. No. That day I told him that, please, can you clean my bag so that we can forget all this story? He told me that if I don't disappear from his sight, I will see. And I told him that if you don't clean my bag, you will see. He looked at me and he told me that I will not clean. I took his bag, and his bag was very huge with many, many books inside compared to mine. My own was smaller because I didn't have all the textbooks. He had all the textbooks, all the furnitures. I took his bag and I threw it on the floor. When that happened, he just got angry. He stood up and did as if he wanted to fight, in fact. And he couldn't because his father was the dean of studies of the Anglophone section. So he could not. If he tried to fight with me, he would have greater problems than that. He took my bag and he threw in a random area in class, in fact. When that happened, I got angry. I just went to that place to take my bag. And when I got there was a girl that took the bag. She threw it back. When I was coming back to take, they were just throwing my bag anyhow in the class, in fact. And when I was going to take it and come back, people were putting their legs on my way so I can fall. So that day I preferred to take my bag, but I didn't report. I don't know why. If only I reported.
Can you marry a woman that earns more than you?
I will never do such a thing.
So you cannot marry a woman that earns more than you?
No, my lord.
Why?
I've already married.
So I didn't report it, and that was it for from 3. Bullying continued, but it was not as huge as that part. The next and the second to the last time I was bullied in school was in Form 4 the next year. In fact, and it was the first day of class actually. That day, what happened is that I was seated alone in class. I was drawing some anime characters, and at the moment I feel like everybody is punching me on my back. When I turn, all of them are laughing. I meant like, what is happening? The whole class is now laughing. I felt like I am alone against the whole class. Then I looked on my back and I saw a paper that was written on it, punch me. What? Actually, they took a paper, they took sellotape, and they gummed the paper on my back so that any person that sees it can punch me. So when I saw it, I told them that I don't like it. They continued laughing, and I told them that I'll go and report. I stood up and I went to report what is just from happening. They begged me that please don't report. We are sorry. I said, this year you will not bully me. Never. I went, I reported, and all the people that were concerned were beaten. In fact, now at the middle of the year in Form 4, something happened is that a new person came to class. In fact, he was not there at the beginning. He came to class and he also realized that I was very short and very small in size. In fact, I was very tiny, small in size. And he told me that I'm too young for Form 4, that I should go back to Form 1. I told him that no, I cannot go. When I went out now of the class to buy something to eat, it was break. He asked me that, he told me that I will not enter inside the class. So he pushed me out of the class, that if I don't go to Form 1, he will flog me until I will go. That day he was just pulling me, pushing me anyhow so that I should go back to Form 1. And no school authority were there that day. You know, that I would have reported, because me, I was not joking. So those were the major events that can be described as school bullying actually. So there were much more events that if I narrate all of them here, the video will be too long. Thank you to have watched into this level, and I have a question to ask you. Have you ever been bullied in your life, either in school, at home, or anywhere else, in any other area where you have lived, or where you have maybe performed a given activity? Have you ever been bullied in your life? If yes, drop your answer in the comment section, and let's dive to the next video. Ciao.